Hey, what's up everyone? It's Hardware Geek. Today I'm gonna review the Asus ROG Strix G15 gaming laptop that comes with the latest Nvidia RTX 3050 Ti graphic card and Ryzen 5 5600H CPU. And in this video we will find out how this CPU and GPU makes this laptop a really great performance machine. But before moving further, please subscribe to my channel as it really helps me to create useful content for you. And don't forget to press the bell icon so you won't miss any of my future videos. So first, looking at the specification of this laptop. It includes AMD Ryzen 5 5600H CPU with 6 cores and 12 threads, as well as a Nvidia RTX 3050 Ti GPU with 4GB VRAM. It also includes 16GB of dual channel RAM with a frequency of 3200 MHz, a 15.6-inch Full HD IPS display with 144Hz of refresh rate, and a 512 GB of NVMe PCI SSD. So starting with its build and design. The laptop is a smaller version of G17 and is similar in both build and design. It has aluminium lid and plastic base, but interestingly the chassis strength is on point. It measures 22.6 by 27.2 mm in thickness and 2.1 kilos in weight. This leaves it in the spectrum of average gaming laptop in terms of dimensions. By the way, the smooth texture on the base feels pretty good. While the lid opens with a single hand, I found it weak and flexed. Once again, we see the same thing, very thin bezels on top and the side of the matte display, and a larger cut bottom bezel. And sadly, no camera to play with it. I find frustrating the fact that it lacks a web camera in a world that has more conference calls than ever before. However, if we take this minor unsettling defect, the laptop does well at what it has to, the gaming. If you look at the keyboard, you will see pretty much the same unit as on the big brother, the Strix G17, minus the number pad. In its place, there is a set of multimedia keys. Speaking of the additional buttons, there are 5 keys above the keyboard. They control the sound volume, turn on and off the microphone, toggle between performance presets, and open the Armory crate, which is very helpful in the competitive games like PUBG, Call of Duty Warzone, and many more. As for the keyboard itself, it has a 4-zone RGB backlight, or per key RGB backlight on some units, a relatively good key travel and clicky feedback. It would have been great if it wasn't for the extremely small arrow keys. However, the touchpad seems extremely big for a gaming laptop. Not only does its size make it comfortable, but also the smooth gliding and easy to click mechanism. It also registers clicks in about 95% of its area. On the bottom panel, you will see the speaker grills for two 4-watt units. And talking about the audio quality, these 4-watt speakers are very loud and have very good bass, but the sound is not as crisp as on the MacBook. There are also vents on the bottom panel for the cool air intake. Hot air on the other hand is exhausted from the two grills on the back side and one on each side of the device. Looking at the cooling setup, we see a total of 6 heat pipes. One common for the CPU and the GPU and 2 more for each of them, and one dedicated to the VRMs and the graphic memory. All of them go to the 4 heat spreaders. Now moving to the ports. The I/O here is placed on the back and on the left side. While on the left there are only 2 USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type A ports and an audio jack. The back houses the power plug, RJ45 connector, HDMI 2.0B connector, a USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type A port with DisplayPort output and power delivery functions, as well as another USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A port. Unfortunately, there is no SD card reader on board, nor you get the Thunderbolt connectivity. Other than that, the I/O is okay. By the way, if you look at the back of the laptop, you will see that one of the grills had something that looks like letter. In fact, it reads MMVI, which converted from the Roman numerals meaning 2006, the year the ROG brand was created. Nice touch, Asus. The 144Hz IPS panel on Asus G15 has a Full HD resolution, good contrast ratio, and comfortable viewing angles. However, it is only able to display 60% of the color of web, and by using the Spider Color Gamut meter, it showed 59% of sRGB and 44% of Adobe RGB, which is an average color accuracy. But this is understandable, as this laptop is more focused to a raw performance rather than content creation work. Moreover, it doesn't flicker at any brightness level. Here the pixel response time is very fast, which is of utmost importance for gamers. Overall, the display is good enough for gaming. Moving to battery life and thermals. This laptop comes with a 56 Wh battery capacity. that can last up to 7 hours on normal use and 3 to 4 hours on heavy workloads, which is really great for a gaming laptop. Moving to charging options, it comes with the 140 watt of charging brick, and you can also charge the laptop up to 100 watt by using the power delivery Type-C charger. Thermals on this laptop is really good. The temperature hovers around 45 to 55 degrees during normal load like light video editing, watching online content and during web surfing, and reaches a peak of 85 degrees only during heavy workloads, which includes hardcore gaming or exporting a quite long 4K video on Premiere Pro. But otherwise, the temperature remains normal. Finally, coming to the performance of its new entry-level CPU, the AMD Ryzen 5 5600H. That is a 6-core 12-thread CPU having a base clock of 3.7 GHz and a boost of 4.2, and have a configurable TDP of 35 to 54 watt. Now moving towards some benchmark comparison so that you can have a better idea about CPU performance against others. So kicking off the benchmarks data with Cinebench R20, the Ryzen 5 5600H provides a healthy performance gain over the previous generation 4600H. In this multi-threaded test, the 5600H is 16% faster, which is solid for a year-on-year improvement. This allows the 5600H to sneak ahead of the Core i9-10980HK running at 45 watt, while beating the Core i7-10870H by 21%. One of the big areas of improvement for Ryzen 5000 is in single-thread performance. The 5600H only clocks up to 4.2 GHz, so it is not as chart-topping as the Ryzen 9 5980HS. However, it managed a 20% performance increase over the 4600H and falls just 4% behind the slightly higher clocked 5800H. Intel's 10th Gen HPAL can't keep up, although the Tiger Lake Core i7-11370H with its 4.8 GHz turbo is roughly 10% faster. In Handbrake, the Ryzen 5 5600H and Core i9-10980HK delivers roughly equivalent performance. So it's impressive to see AMD's entry-level processor is as good in this multi-threaded workload as Intel's previous gen flagship CPU. This is down to a modest 9% performance improvement moving from the 4600H to 5600H. So as you can see, the performance of 5600H is really fantastic. It is taking the lead in every performance test and even beating the last year flagship CPU from Intel. So overall, the CPU that this laptop provides have really overwhelming performance. Now, the main attraction is the latest NVIDIA RTX 3050 Ti graphic card. This GPU is based on Ampere architecture and 7nm manufacturing process. It has 1.3 MHz of base clock and 1.58 GHz of boost clock and 4 GB of VRAM. On paper, this GPU looks really powerful. Now finally, the upgrading options. Thankfully, the upgradability is on point here, with 2 RAM slot-in slots, which supports up to 64 GB of DDR4 memory in dual channel. Also, you get the 2 M.2 NVMe slot for storage up to 2 TB, pretty much the holy grail for gaming laptops. So that's pretty much everything for the review. Now the final verdict. If you are looking for a gaming laptop that costs around 90,000 rupees or $1,000 and packs the awesome specs including a Ryzen 5000 series CPU, RTX 30 series GPU, a great battery life, 16 GB of RAM, and don't have any problem with not having webcam, then this laptop is a really great value for money option and you can't go wrong with it. After all, this is the best what you can get for its price, and if any one of you is interested in buying one, then you can find the best buying links for this laptop as well as for US variants in the description box. So this will do for the video. Thanks for watching, please like, share, and if you are new to the channel, then a subscription will be really great. See you in next video. Have a wonderful day.